Hi, I'm Nicholeen Peck. I'm the mother of 4 and the previous foster parent of many. And on this channel, we talk about all kinds of things related to parenting and children. And today we are talking about what to look for in a babysitter. This is so exciting. Today I have a special guest here with me. Her name is Nicole, and she is a professional babysitter. I don't know if you knew that was a thing. Well, we're going to hear a little bit about Nicole's history, and then we're going to get into what to look for in a babysitter. But first, Nicole, tell us a little bit about your history with babysitting.
So I started babysitting when I was 12 years old and got my first full-time job when I was 16. And that was my first time going to their house every day for a certain amount of time. And ever since then, I just fell in love with babysitting and nannying and being a mother's helper. I've been all three, and I have for the past 8 years been a full-time nanny. I've put myself through school and have loved it.
Okay, and Nicole, I wish you would have been there when I was having babysitters, because I know you well enough now that you would have been my babysitter, hands down. I would have had no problems. And there's a reason for that. There's things about Nicole that I know and that I've learned that are yes, she is just what I would look for in a babysitter. So we've got to talk about what are people looking for in that babysitter. And I think one thing that's kind of an obvious, maybe, would be experience. You'd want to know if a person has certain experience. Did people ever ask you questions about your experience?
Yes, I think when I was younger, they kind of knew I was new, and so they weren't expecting much. But as soon as I started getting older and they were leaving me with them for more time, certain set amounts of time every week, they definitely were wanting to know my experience, and especially wanting to know the genders that I was working with. If they had all girls, or have you worked with girls, or all boys, and vice versa. They were definitely curious about that.
Good. Did they ever ask for references, or did they get referred to you by other people? Was a references a thing?
Yes. So as soon as I got my first nanny job, my official job where I went there, they asked for references for that. And so I had a couple nanny jobs where they wanted to know, and they called past employers.
Mm-hmm. Probably one of the most important things for me when I'm looking for a babysitter, which is why I know I would pick Nicole, is I would want someone who had my same morals and values, my standards, so that I would know, okay, if I wouldn't watch it, Nicole probably wouldn't watch it, right? If I wouldn't say it, Nicole probably wouldn't say it. So I want someone who's maybe going to have my same, language that I would use, because I don't swear at my children, so I don't want somebody else swearing at my children, right? So I would say pick someone with your same morals and values, or higher, right? Don't go lower. Go higher. I think that's the thing, right? I would imagine that the majority of people that picked you to be a babysitter for them had similar morals and values as you. Would you say that's true?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, I would think so, because that's super common. And did it give you any kind of a peace as a babysitter to know that you had that match with the family?
Oh, yeah. I think going into a home is already, this is their home, this is their children, and I wanted to, if not match those, but if not bring more into that home for that little bit of time that I was with them.
I could see Nicole exceeding expectations. Ever since I've known Nicole, she keeps exceeding expectations. So that's the type of nanny or babysitter that she would be, definitely. Okay, I think another big one is just overall personality or demeanor. There are some personalities that are automatically going to be in conflict with the vibe of your family or the culture that you have in your home. And so I would say that you would want to have your personality and your babysitter's personality be somewhat similar. Why would you think that would be important?
I think because those children are used to that demeanor and that personality. If you're similar to that, or at least can mimic it a little bit, you don't have to be exactly the same.
Right.
But it's a little more comforting for the children, and they react better to you as a babysitter.
So when you say react better, Now we're talking about behavior, right? And this is probably the thing that people worry about the most when it comes to their children being left with somebody else. At least they should. They should be worried about when my child acts up, which is going to probably happen with a babysitter because they turn it on a little, right? A little. She's like, yeah, they do. And they turn it on a little bit more. So how is this babysitter going to respond to behavior problems? And I think that's an important conversation to have. I think probably you would want to ask them certain questions about that. What types of things do you think are helpful to ask to a babysitter to make sure that you understand their discipline style?
Maybe give them like a scenario that's typical for your children. Like, okay, so Billy and Johnny are playing and this is how like we'll react. How would you handle that situation? And maybe just like role playing with them a little bit on a situation that you know might, from prior experience, might come up. And just seeing like what their answer is to you, like in that hypothetical situation.
I think that's a really good idea. Just to kind of get their brain in the zone and see. And if they're like, well, I'll just sort of let them fight it out, or whatever, then you're like, okay, so she's not going to get as involved. Are you okay with that? Right? Some people might be, yeah, fight it out. And other people might be like, I don't want to come home to black and blue children, so let's figure out what we're going to do there. I think that's a big one. I also feel like that another key thing I'm talking good babysitters here. Like Nicole level, okay? Pro babysitters. When you want a really good one, you want a babysitter who sees babysitting or being a nanny as more than just making sure everyone's alive when the parents get home, right? Or that everybody ate and went to bed. Because that's just like the basic, right? So what are some things that we're going to look for in a person to make sure they are like next level pro babysitter?
That they plan to play with your children. When I was a babysitter, I fully expected to be fully engaged with those children and wanting them to love me and wanting them to want me to come back, because that's how I get paid, is for them asking me to come back. And so I love to just play with them and interact with them and let them know that I was there to like be like their friend and to just love them. So
you focused on enjoying the other people's children and loving the other people's children. What a novel idea. I don't know if everybody's heart is in that place, but when you find that babysitter that has that heart, you are going to never let her go, which is probably why you keep being able to nanny and babysit and work your way through college now, which is what you've done, which is an incredible thing. So you invest in them. You're probably doing crafts with them. You're coming up with fun activities. If they want to kick a soccer ball, you're kicking it with them, right? That kind of thing is going to be huge. And you're probably not on your phone.
Nope. It's on, but I'm not on it. Because sometimes the parents need to get a hold of me, and that has happened. But it needs to be close, just not like on it all the time.
But you're not just sitting and looking at that phone. No. You're paying attention to the people that are around you, right? That's huge. So if I interviewed a babysitter and they were constantly checking their device every time it dinged and they were, not even focusing on me, I would be thinking, that's a little bit suspect. I'm not sure if I want that person. I think I would also ask the person. I would say, so in the flow of the day, you're going to have this whole day with the family. What is your plan? Or what would your plan be for a good day with the family? And see what they say. I wouldn't lead them on too much. Just let them say what they think. And if they say, well, they'll play. They'll have lots of playtime. I've got a few people I got to call. I'm going to get on the computer and, Anyway, no, they probably wouldn't say that. But then if they said something like, and we'll eat food and, we'll probably watch a show. I'll put them to bed early. And that's just really basic, right? But if they said, oh, here's my babysitting box, and I've got some great crafts that I've planned on doing, and I love to go out and be in nature and go for a walk and take them on a nature walk, I'd be like, yes, you are the one. Because you would care enough to really have an experience with my children. I will never forget when I was little, my babysitter, the one that we had all the time. She kept coming up with creative things all the time. And one thing she did one time, I will always remember this time, is she said, let's get out your little kiddie pool, and it was a cold time of year. She says, let's get out your kiddie pool and let's fill it full of like hot water and we'll go hot tubbing. And we were like, yes, we were bringing buckets and bowls of hot water and filling up this little thing. We all got in our swimsuits and got in. My parents came home and we were like, oh no, Dina's gotta go. Because we just loved that activity. It was so unique and I mean, definitely maybe a little out there. Maybe some parents would not be okay with that. Mine were, but it was just a lot of fun. Okay, so Nicole, we've had some great opportunity to share some pro tips for how to choose that babysitter and what to look for. But I feel like you have something else you could share with us that really could benefit the babysitter and the family.
Yeah, so as a babysitter, I always just wanted to be open to learning from that family that I was babysitting and having the opportunity to be in their home and with their children and being able just to learn and grow from that experience.
Yeah, that's great. I think we have to remember that the people who are helping us out with our children are also gaining something from this experience. We're not just taking, but we need to think in terms of teaching them too, so that they will do a better job for us and other people in the future, that they'll feel confident with their babysitting. I think we can build them up and give them instruction. Sometimes our consumer mindset takes over and we just want to take from the babysitter instead of give to the babysitter too. And I think that's a valuable thing that we can all remember. That is a lot to know about choosing a babysitter. I hope that was helpful for you. If you have found this video helpful, I'm pretty sure you're going to love the next video, which is how to teach your kids to respect their parents.